Just because you are slacking with the whole God thing doesn't mean the devil is lacking. Previously on my channel. Okay, some of this didn't actually happen, but thank you so much for joining me yet again for part 2 of this video. But then this came to me yesterday, I think. Impact versus intention. What is your intention? Like, when you tell me something, what is your intention? Why are you telling me that? You need to also ask yourself, like, what? Because, like, I've had times where someone tells me something and I'm like, what is the point? What is the reason? You need to ask yourself, what is the reason? Okay? Are you edifying me? Is this going to benefit me? Is this going to make us build a better relationship? Why are you telling me this? What's your intention? And sometimes when you question your own intentions, then you can regulate yourself. I mean, okay, there's sometimes when you just want to laula. Laula means just to talk unje. Because you have the ability to speak, you just want to speak. And my family used to warn me against this. I'm like, Lily, just like, Lily, you don't have to always speak. So yeah, you need to question your intentions with the things you say and the things you do. If you are planning to prepare a Christmas meal for people, what's your intention? Is it for you to be praised, or is it for you to give love to people? And then on the issue of intentions, sometimes you have good intentions, yeah, but your impact. So now after questioning your intentions and you go forward with what you want to say or what you want to do, you have to be prepared for the impact it will have. And something I'm learning in uni is, unfortunately, I don't have control over how people receive what I do or what I say. Like, I may genuinely have good intentions, but when it gets to where it's supposed to be, when it gets to the receiver, how they receive it is up to them, and how people receive things is based on a lot, like their background, their traumas, their whatever. And I don't necessarily have 110% control over their reactions and their receiving it, right? But I must be prepared to deal with the impact I have on people's lives. That's part of being responsible. That's part of being a grown-up. If there's grown-ups watching this, I'm sure you're all just there like, yeah, we know that. Be prepared to take responsibility. I mean, obviously you don't have to take like 100% responsibility for how someone reacts to you, because you don't have control over how they react to you, but you should be prepared for consequences, prepared to apologize when the impact you've had on someone is not positive. And there's a character from a South African TV series I love. Her name is Lindiwe on the show. The show is called The River. Her name is Lindiwe. They call her Matlabantu. That means man-eater. She's scary. She's dangerous. And this one time in the series, she said, it's not about intention. It's about impact. You can't always play the victim. Back to the issue of going back home, going back to God, going back to the Father. The thing is, people don't know you. They don't know what makes you you. They don't know your high school traumas. I have a lot of high school traumas, God knows. They don't know your childhood traumas, They don't know the reason why you are the way you are, but God knows. And so when you go feed certain pigs, God knows why you are doing that. God knows if you're triggered. God knows if you are traumatized. God knows if you're hurting. God knows if you're hurting. God knows if you're rebelling and why. And people might not know that. And you can't go around the whole world explaining yourself to people like, no, the reason I'm doing this is because this. No, you don't have to always explain yourself to people, but you do have to communicate with God. And it's something I'm really trying to practice. Like the other night, I sat in my room and I said, nah, God, I won't say it to you people. I was like, God, you're not God. Yeah. Like, all I'm saying is we should want to pursue a relationship with God where it's not just you speak to Him about big forest fires, but also you speak to Him about the little fires around, the small ones that, am I gonna cry? The little fires around, the ones you think you can put out using your slippers. He's so wise, he's so patient. I think maybe the thing that really gets me going about God is the patience. He's not a man like us, because if someone kept coming back to me every 6 months like, oh, forgive me, I just like, you're not even serious, you're toxic and I'm cutting you off, you know. But God doesn't cut us off, and He doesn't hold it against you, and He loves you, and He sends people along the way of your journey to hug you physically, because He can't do it physically. And so there's sometimes people along this your journey that are just kind to you, that are just so full of love towards you, and you don't even know why. I feel like that's just God's way of hugging you. I mean, He could come down and physically hug you, but you would probably collapse and die. Did you guys hear that? Anyways, accept the love, allow the love, receive the love, and then give the love, and extend grace to others the same way God extends grace to you. What does being gracious mean? Beyonce says, always stay gracious, best revenge is your payback. What does being gracious mean? Being gracious means being kind in situations that aren't so kind to you. It means being generous with your heart, allowing room for people to mess up. Why am I crying? It's the hunger. It's the hunger. It means allowing space for people in your life to mess up. I'm not saying be taken as a joke. I'm not saying allow them to play with you. You need to have boundaries. You need to respect yourself. But I'm saying it's not being so hard on people, or when people disappoint you, or when people do something you never expected them to do. Not even to you, but just in life. If you see your friend feeding pigs, being gracious means that if you see your friend feeding pigs and when they're done feeding pigs, you're not gonna be there like, pig feeder. Nah, being gracious means when they're done feeding pigs, you're gonna be like, yo, I think you need a bath. Come, I'll run your bath for you, give you warm water to bath with. Being kind. Let's be kind. I almost forgot. There's a song recommendation for this whole segment about going back to the Father, not allowing shame to overcome you. And I'm recommending the song Out of Hiding by Stephanie. I'll put her name somewhere. Her name is Stephanie. I cannot pronounce her surname. Another lesson would be, for those of us who are already at home, that's where the being gracious comes in. When we see our brother coming back home, we shouldn't be like the older brother. We shouldn't. And I think the older brother has a lot of bitterness inside of him, because he's already in Christ. He's already in Father's house, but he's not maximizing. He's not having fun. Like, there's some people who be in church like, I'm in church, I'm a Christian, I'm happy, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And you're like, yo, are you okay? You don't look well, man. Listen up. Because gumnandi enkonzweni, that means it's fun in the house of the Lord. That's literally what it means. Fun. Make it fun, man. I'm pretty sure the father never said to the older son, don't touch goats, don't eat the fattened calf. Everything was there for him at his disposal. But he was just so rigid and so, I do it like this, I do it like this, I do it like this, and the Father will love me. We don't have to work for God's love. He loved us before we knew what love was. But we do have to work to build our relationship for it to be better, for it to be sweeter, Any relationship really, your friendships, have to be built on something, and they should only get better with time. That's just like with God. It should only get better with time. Why should it remain the same way it's been for 10 years? There's no growth. Yeah, so the older son was not enjoying himself. You should enjoy yourself. Hey, you don't gotta put your cup down. Hey, pray freely. Last but not least, the days are dark. The days are dark. The days are dark, y'all. And just because you are slacking with the whole God thing doesn't mean the devil is lacking. The devil never stops. That be aware. Be vigilant. And most importantly, babies. Babies, even though some of my babies are like 55 years old, babies, guard your heart intentionally, actively. That's the thing, guys. I'm always talking about intentionality, but sometimes myself, I'm not intentional. Be active in protecting yourself. Be active in guarding your heart. Be active in whatever it is you're doing. Don't be passive. I hope wherever you are safe, you are loved, you are warm, you are healthy. And even if you're not any of these things, I am praying for you. How are you praying for us? And you may be asking yourself. Good question. Every time when I pray for my family, yes? Then there's a segment, like a segment where I squeeze in some names. So I squeeze in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Then I go, you know what? God, I pray for the entire alphabet. I'm joking. What I say is, because sometimes I'm just like, yo, relative number 53. What I do sometimes is I just say, Lord, anyone I know, even if anyone calling upon your name in this season, in this time, God, please answer them. And that's how I pray for all of you. So what you have to do, call upon the name of the Lord. That way, my prayer will interject and trisect and reach you. Because I said, anyone calling upon the name of the Lord, call upon his name. And if ever you want to speak to me, feel free. I'm such a free person. And I have some people, some new subscribers who speak to me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm just like, thank you. From me to you, with love, always stay gracious. Best revenge is your paper. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope someone out there was helped. Don't let judgment squash you, because mercy triumphs over judgment.